Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American slasher horror film from 2022, titled Halloween Kills. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie starts with Cameron, walking home, trying to call Oscar to apologize for cheating on Allison. Cameron doesn't know that Michael Myers has just killed Oscar. Cameron comes across Sheriff Hawkins, who's been injured by Dr. Sartain. Hawkins mumbles that he should have been the one to kill Michael. Then, there's a flashback to Halloween in 1978 in Haddonfield. A young Hawkins is chasing after Michael during his killing spree. Meanwhile, a boy named Lonnie Elam is being teased by other kids until the police warn them to go home. Alone, Lonnie encounters Michael and Hawkins and his partner arrive to rescue him. The two officers follow Michael into his old house, where he attacks the partner and Hawkins accidentally shoots his partner. Michael escapes but is surrounded by the police outside. Dr. Samuel Loomis rushes into the house, asking Hawkins if Michael killed again, and Hawkins can't admit the truth. Fast forward to Halloween in Haddonfield in 2018, where a couple named Marcus and Vanessa are on a date night. They're annoyed by a noisy group at a nearby table. Soon, one of the men from that group takes the stage, and it turns out to be Tommy Doyle. He's there with other survivors like Lindsay Wallace, Marion Chambers, and the now grown-up Lonnie. Tommy pays tribute to Michael's victims and other survivors, including Laurie Strode. Meanwhile, Laurie, who had seemingly left Michael to burn in her home, is rushing to the hospital with her daughter Karen and granddaughter Allison to treat her injuries. They see firefighters heading toward her burning house, and Laurie desperately tries to stop them, but they don't listen. Inside the burning home, Michael emerges from a hidden cabinet, kills one firefighter with an axe, and drags another one down with him. He exits the burning house and continues to murder the rest of the firefighters. The team that discovers the carnage issues a warning about Michael being on the loose. Marcus and Vanessa decide to join Tommy and his friends for a drink. While they're together, they receive alerts on their phones about Michael being on the loose, along with another escaped inmate. Tommy decides to gather a small group of people to confront and try to finally kill Michael. Outside, Vanessa goes to her car and believes she sees Michael in the back seat. She runs for help and Tommy approaches the car, but the person inside drives away, eventually crashing and escaping. The crowd gathers around the car, but they find no one inside. It's revealed to be the other escaped inmate, who is panicked and terrified. Meanwhile, Michael targets an elderly couple, Phil and Sandra, in their home. He violently attacks Phil and then uses a light pole to stab Sandra in the throat. She watches in horror as Michael repeatedly stabs Phil with kitchen knives before taking one for himself and walking away. A couple named Big John and Little John live in Michael's old house. They get a visit from trick-or-treaters who claim to have found a razor blade in their candy. The Johns rush to help, but it turns out to be a prank by the kids to steal their candy. The Johns then scare the kids with a spooky story about Michael, causing them to run away. At the hospital, Karen mourns her husband Ray's death. Sheriff Barker informs her that Michael survived the house fire, and Allison overhears. Cameron comes to reconcile with Allison and she forgives him for cheating. Tommy and his friends gather more people to confront Michael, delivering an inspiring speech and rallying everyone to chant, "Evil dies tonight." Allison joins Cameron and Lonnie, who is Cameron's father, to search for Michael, while Marcus and Vanessa team up with Marion and Lindsay. Before leaving, Allison leaves a knife under Laurie's pillow in case Michael shows up. Lindsay, Marion, Marcus, and Vanessa come across a playground where they encounter the trick-or-treaters from earlier on the swing set. Lindsay goes over to tell them to go home, but they suspect Michael is trying to scare them. The horrifying truth becomes apparent when they see Michael holding the severed head of their friend. Terrified, the kids run away and Michael attempts to attack Lindsay. She manages to hide, but he then goes after the others. Some possible reasons why Michael Myers hasn't talked again since the murder of his sister is that it's part of the catatonia he tricked everyone into thinking he had, while others, based on the events of Halloween Kills, suggest he is still in shock after what happened in 1963, and he's still that little boy who killed his sister, so his selective mutism could be a lot more complex than it seems. Michael breaks into their car, killing Marion by stabbing her to death, and brutally sticks a knife through Marcus's head. Vanessa tries to shoot at Michael, but she repeatedly misses, and Michael kicks the car door towards her, causing her to shoot herself in the head. Back at the hospital, Laurie wakes up, and Karen lies to her, claiming that Michael is dead. Hawkins is wheeled into the same room as Laurie. After Karen leaves, Laurie and Hawkins talk, but both are given morphine to numb their pain. Later, Laurie discovers the truth and tries to get up to go after Michael once again. Allison, Cameron and Lonnie arrive at the gruesome murder scene, discovering that Michael has left Marcus and Vanessa's bodies on a carousel, each wearing masks, and Marion's body is hung up on a swing set, also wearing a mask. They find Lindsay alive but injured and terrified. Meanwhile, the other escaped inmate seeks help at the hospital, but Tommy and the angry crowd mistake him for Michael and chase after him. Karen realizes his innocence and tries to protect him. She manages to lock him in a hallway, but the mob begins to break through. Fearing for his life, the inmate smashes a window with a fire extinguisher and jumps to his death, a gruesome sight that splatters on the concrete. Everyone believes that Michael is dead, but Laurie confirms it's not him. Tommy is horrified, realizing that Michael has turned them into a violent mob, just like him. The Johns are relaxing in their home when they hear a persistent knocking at the door. Initially, they think it's more trick-or-treaters and try to ignore it, but the knocking becomes more intense. When they check both the front and back doors and find no one there, Big John goes upstairs to investigate the strange noise. Suddenly, Michael appears and stabs him in the armpit, then brutally gouges out his eyes and crushes his skull. Little John discovers his lifeless body and confronts Michael, meeting a similarly grim fate. Hawkins confides in Laurie that Michael isn't coming for him because he knows Hawkins was trying to take him back home. Hawkins reflects on the night when he almost caught Michael but stopped another officer from shooting him in the head, believing that Michael was still human. It's a decision he deeply regrets. With the knowledge that Michael is at his old house, the majority of the mob, including Allison and Karen, head to the neighborhood. Inside the house, Allison, Cameron, and Lonnie search for Michael. Tragically, Cameron finds Lonnie's lifeless body stuffed in the attic before Michael launches a brutal attack on Cameron, ultimately breaking his neck. Allison confronts Michael and he throws her down the stairs, breaking her leg. Karen arrives and stabs Michael with a pitchfork, then steals his mask. This prompts him to go outside, where the mob pummels him relentlessly, beating him to the ground. Karen drives a knife into his neck. Back at the hospital, Laurie discusses Michael's seemingly supernatural power, believing he grows stronger with each life he takes. Sheriff Brackett attempts to exact retribution for his daughter's murder 40 years ago by shooting Michael in the head. However, Michael pulls the knife from his neck and attacks Brackett, then goes on a rampage, slaughtering the rest of the mob, with Tommy falling victim to him, impaled in the chest. Karen goes upstairs to Judith's room, where Michael is waiting. He sneaks up on her and stabs her to death. The movie ends with Michael staring out of his window, while Laurie stares out of her hospital window. Okay guys, that's all the recap about Halloween Kills from 2022. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.